Okay, I had to attend a toddler who really doesn't seem to appreciate statistics when they're trying to sleep. But we're almost nearing the end of this section, so let's see if we can plow on through. So, this state of affairs that I've been describing here, it's really nothing new. So we've had these sorts of crises since even the 50s. And Paul Meehl called this a puzzling state. And Tversky Kahneman said that research experience is unlikely to help much in this these biases and misunderstandings of statistics. And Jacob Cohen said that the null hypothesis tests us. And but what this is the first time is actually, it's the first time when people have started to take large-scale action to do something about these things. And this we'll discuss that in the next those solutions in the next section. But as you can see here is that if you have a regression coefficient that's slightly different than than another, you would actually change the statement based on the p-value. That hey, because it's this much smaller, suddenly the effect doesn't exist. And if the regression coefficient is this much higher and it's the p-value is just under 0.05, people would shout that, oh, there's an effect that exists. And of course, this is crazy because effects don't just come in and out of existence based on crossing a magical p-value threshold. And there's something very important that you remember R.A. Fisher, and tobacco enthusiast who developed this p-value. And what he actually said was that we don't need isolated significant results, but actually what he wanted us to have is a procedure which makes sure that we can say that some phenomenon is experimentally demonstrable when we know how to conduct an experiment which will rarely fail to give us a statistically significant result. So we know the context, we know the things that go into this experiment, and almost every time we do this experiment and these factors are present, we end up having a statistically significant result. This is, of course, it's very different from trying out something 20 times, getting it right once or twice, and then rushing to publish those things that went our way, so to say. And so here are a couple of resources that you will use in your written assignment. So we have the Brian Nosek's keynote speech, which explains these the same sorts of things in a slightly different perspective. And then we have this quiz that I thought was quite entertaining about guessing which social science experiments have been successfully replicated. And then there's a paper, a review on the replicability, robustness, and reproducibility in psychological science. And as said, this is not a problem of psychological science, but because it became so apparent with extrasensory perception and precognition trials in psychology, there have been lots of steps forward, in particular niches in psychological and social psychological sciences. And so in the next section, we're actually going to talk more about what are these things that the research community is currently doing in order to make things better.